Submarines are built to carry men and materiel underwater, not to serve as recompression chambers. But where a regular chamber isn't available, the escape trunk in a modern sub can keep a diver from dying in agony from the bends. That's what we were shooting for now, the Navy and me, Mike Nelson. We were trying to save my partner, Jerry Blaine, from dying that way. Without recompression, he would. He had come up too fast from a 100-foot dive without giving himself a chance to adjust to the pressure changes on the way to the top.
I'll check you out as soon as you get set up there. Mike, you getting bends too?
It's just early stages. Don't worry, I'll take good care of him. As soon as we get under pressure.
The pressurized trunk would give Jerry a second chance. If his mind and body could stand it for close to 24 hours, he'd come out alive and uninjured. So would I.
Now that wheel secures your deck hatch cover. Water pressure will keep it sealed unless we get too much air pressure in here. Now there's your air valve. I'll be in charge of pressurization outside. Here's a first aid kit. Now we've rigged up an intercom. I'll be on it down below.
Let's get this show on the road, huh?
We'll submerge as soon as you're sealed in here.
Okay. Up to your foot. I got it.
All secure in the trunk?
All secure, Lieutenant.
Then stand by to pull the plug. Torpedo room to captain. Trunk hatch is secure, sir.
Take her down.
We'll be under pressure soon. That'll be the end of our bends. Okay. Take another one of these decongestant pills. Make it easy for you to clear. Here, boy. Yeah, take it.
30 feet.
Take us here, Jerry. Come on. Start clearing now. Easy, now, easy. That's it. Now go to her. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Come on.
40 feet.
Can't go back now. We can't go up now. It's too late. Come on, Jerry. Come on.
We were sealed in the escape trunk of a submarine, which we were using as an emergency recompression chamber. The pressure on us now was equal to 33 feet underwater, meaning twice what we're used to topside. I had adjusted my ears to this difference in pressure, but my partner, Jerry Blaine, a novice diver, hadn't been able to.
Come on, now pop those ears, Jerry. Pop them. I can't take it anymore. All right. Shut off here. Shut it off. I'll shut it off, Jerry, boy. It's all right, boy. It's going off now, Jerry. It's off, Jerry. Not too hard. Not too hard now. They'll pop all right. Just give it time now. Yeah, that's it. It's okay.
Why did you turn off the air? Are you okay up there?
Yeah. We just had a little trouble clearing. All right now. Gonna turn the air back on.
Roger.
All right. Start clearing, boy. Come on, start clearing. Keep. That's it. No trouble now, huh? We're taking it gradual. Oh, boy. All right?
Passenger secure?
Oh, yes, sir. I sure hope that pressure cures Blaine. Swell guy. He's a Medal of Honor man, you know.
I've heard of him, of course.
Nobody flies jets like he does, even rockets.
Watch the pressure. You know the danger to the ship.
Yes, sir. 60 feet down.
The pressure's easing up the bends already. Notice the difference? Huh? I say you notice the difference. Bends? Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mike.
The nitrogen bubbles are dissolving. It takes time and several stages of pressure to get them out of our bodies. This whole deal is being worked out per, well, they call it Navy recompression treatment tables. It's a little different from the problems you're used to, huh?
Yeah. I admit I prefer the stratosphere. A little more room.
100 feet.
That's how deep you were before. It was rougher than two working around that wreck.
Yeah, but I had a job to do. Finding out what went wrong. I had to get down to that rocket.
Uh-huh. And you made it. Your first dive, too. That was really something for a beginner. A couple of hours ago. That's all it was. Jerry and I were headed for a 100-foot bottom. A big dive for a man who had never been underwater before. And Jerry hadn't. I had checked him out in a hurry. It was against all the rules. But I had no alternative. There had been a reason for speed. Jerry was a rocket expert, as well as a test pilot. One of the rockets that he'd been working on had gone off course for an unknown reason and buried itself 100 feet underwater. Getting all the way down to the wreckage was a struggle for Jerry, but he made it. The rocket was armed with a destruct package, which hadn't exploded yet. If we could manage to salvage the guidance system without setting off the package, Jerry could figure out what had gone wrong. That would save months of work and millions of dollars. We began salvage operations by taking pictures of the rocket's exterior. Jerry decided, apparently, that we couldn't get in from this end. We'd have to try the rear entrance. It didn't look to me as if it would be any easier this way. But Jerry was running the show. He was the expert. It was up to him to get in there and disarm that destruct package. For some reason, he didn't make a move. Instead, he asked for some more pictures. Was he stalling? Was he by any chance scared? I couldn't believe that of Jerry. He was hesitating because diving was new to him. That had to be it. I'd seen novices freeze up this way before. I tried to help him get started. There was the destruct package. Jerry tried to disconnect it from the guidance unit. He seemed to know what he was doing, but he couldn't budge the cable. Maybe I could help. But combining our efforts didn't do any good. Jerry signaled me to get out my saw and start cutting through the braces which supported the guidance unit. He would keep working on the cable that connected the unit with the destruct package. As long as they stayed connected, we were working on borrowed time. The job was finished, and so was Jerry. He wasn't thinking of what could happen to him, or me, or the destruct package. He just wanted out. Jerry dashed for the surface without even thinking of stops for decompression. That's what started all the trouble. It wound up with both of us in a submarine escape trunk, our bodies full of nitrogen bubbles, and Jerry tormented by a nameless, gnawing sense of doom.
100 feet down. Get me out of here! Get me out! Get me out!
Easy now, easy. We can't go back up now. We just get the bends all over again if we do.
Oh, water. Tons of water. Tons of water.
Level off at 165.
165. We're leveling off now. Everything all right up there?
You tell him. Tell him I want to get out of it.
Yeah, we're okay. Now, Jerry, you stop this, you hear me? Huh? You gotta help yourself. Listen, you gotta find a way to relax. Breathe deeply, huh? Boy. Long, deep breaths now. That's it. Boy. It's leaking.
Tighten it!
It's as tight as it'll get.
Tighten it! We'll drown in here!
Jerry Blaine and I were packed like sardines in the submarine's escape trunk. Our bodies under a pressure of nearly 100 pounds per square inch. Our minds under even greater pressure. Facing endless hours in these cramped quarters 165 feet below the surface, this man who had won the Medal of Honor for bravery in the stratosphere was now in the icy, irrational grip of claustrophobia.
The cover's leaking, Mike. Come on, tighten it.
No, it isn't. It fooled me, too. It's just condensation.
Yeah, we'll drown. We'll
Look
drown.
at the walls, huh? Will you? Look at the walls, Jerry. Look. The moisture's condensing from the cold outside because of the depth we're at.
I can't stand it.
You've got to stand it. You've got to face it. It's going to be a long, cold, wet ride.
Come on, open up. Come on, open up. Open up, will you? Come on, let me out.
Stop it.
Get me out of here, will you?
Listen.
Open up,
Give
will
me a
you?
sedative, huh?
I knew Jerry's problem. I'd learned about it the hard way, underwater. He had left the rocket in a desperate hurry. He was headed upstairs so fast his lungs would burst like an overfilled inner tube, unless I managed to tag him. Fortunately, experience can outswim desperation. I caught him at the level where we were supposed to stop and decompress. He seemed calm enough when we started toward our guideline. And that was just as well. We didn't have enough air left to fight about it down here. When I signaled to him that we'd have to remain at this level for a while, he panicked. He took off for the top like a rocket. I had to follow him.
We gotta go back down. Hey, Lieutenant. Put on fast. No. We gotta decompress the nitrogen out of our blood. You know that. Now, come on.
I'm not going.
You ever seen anybody with a bends? It's pretty frightening.
Mike's right.
No, I can't. I can't.
Lieutenant, would you radio shore? See how soon they can get a recompression chamber out to us?
Right.
They'll never get that chamber out to us in time. Now, come on, tell me, what's wrong?
I'm afraid.
Of the destruct package?
That isn't it. That water. That water.
Sure. You got a touch of water claustrophobia. And no wonder. For the first dive, it was a pretty rough one. I should never have let you do it, no matter how important it was. Now, listen. You go now, we'll only have to go down 30 feet, huh?
I can't. I nearly drowned down there. I can't face it again.
You'll die if you don't.
Well, then, I might as well die. Coward.
Now, it'll be an hour or more, even to get a chopper out here to fly him ashore. Why can't you dive again?
Because he's, suffering from, exposure, exhaustion. We have to find a way to keep him warm and dry and still be able to decompress. Hey, that sub of yours. It's got an escape hatch on it, hasn't it?
Yes, the escape trunk's between the forward torpedo room and the deck.
How about using it as a recompression chamber, huh?
What?
It's been done before.
Well, I don't know. The skipper goes pretty much by the book, but I'll ask him.
Good, okay, Lieutenant. You can take that, can't you?
I'm not sure of anything now.
At least you'll be dry.
It might help.
Let me look, huh? We better get in the cabin, huh?
Yeah.
We'll keep warm now.
I know, sir, but it's an emergency.
Well, there's a risk to the ship if the hatch blows.
Let me talk to him, Lieutenant. Commander Murdoch, Mike Nelson. We're facing a casualty here. If we don't take action, Cherry Blake may not be alive to make his report in that rocket that he's checking. You're standing by to cooperate. We need you, sir. You want us to complete our mission, don't you, Commander?
I wish I could help, Nelson. I'll radio headquarters for approval.
Won't be time for that, sir. Wayne's got a bad case of the bends already.
Oh? I'll come alongside and pick him up. He can use the trunk unless I get a negative from headquarters before I submerge.
Roger.
Headquarters approved our using the escape trunk. We were stuck in it for a long, long trip, and Jerry was suffering claustrophobia.
All right, take off your coat.
For what?
I'll give you a shot. It'll relax you.
Look, I don't need a shot. I'm not sick. Just chicken.
I don't buy that. Took a lot of guts to fight something the way you did. Now, come on, take your coat off, huh?
Thanks anyway. I'll try and sweat it out. What was that?
Sudden change of pressure.
Is everything secure in the trunk? Can you hear me? Is anything wrong?
Yeah, we lost air. Give us some more pressure. Slowly.
Roger. Torpedo room to control. Feed in more air pressure, slowly.
I'm going back to the con. Report.
Yes, sir.
Hold it, that's enough.
Right, we're back to 150 again.
Okay. Gonna be okay now.
I can't take any more of this. I'm getting out of here. How much longer?
Not much, not much.
You're lying to me. How much longer? Come on, let me out! Let me out of here!
Stop it!
Let me out of here! Come on, let us out, will you? Open this thing up! Will you? I don't care anymore, see?
What's wrong? Are you flooding?
We're okay. Just another touch of the bends is all. You haven't finished your job yet. What about the rocket program that you're so proud to be a part of? I wouldn't be able to tell them what you learned down there. If you went down that hatch, that'd be the end of you. And your report.
Yeah, I know, but...
Jerry, I tell you, you stick around long enough to make your report, huh? Then I'll get you out of here.
I'll try.
Good boy. Lieutenant, plane wants to make an urgent report on the rocket. Can you record it?
I'll get a yeoman to take it down.
Okay.
I'll finish the job.
Ready. Start your report.
Cable connection to destruct package was twisted and jammed.
Slower, please. Start again from the top.
Cable connection to destruct package was twisted and jammed. Same condition with inertial guidance unit. You got that?
Yes, just a little slower.
Suggest rechecking stress tolerance of the cables of both units, since there are positive indications that during the takeoff or landing, stress has affected them in the present instance. The stress will not carry the load within the rocket.
Luckily, he had a long report to dictate. Long, highly technical, requiring a great deal of concentrated reasoning and thought. The pressure in the trunk went down slowly. So did the pressure on Jerry. It was remarkable how skillfully, how creatively his mind could function once he relaxed enough to let it. He dictated almost without a break for 3 hours. After that, the rest of the trip was no particular strain on his nerves, that is. The strain on our bodies was something else again. Believe me, 20 hours in a closet this size is a long, long time.
Pretty clever, weren't you?
Huh?
Pretty clever.
Well, it's amazing what happens to you when you got a job to do.
Stand clear of the lower hatch.
Speaking for myself, I'm glad to get out of this sardine can.
Oh, don't stay on my account.
Don't worry, I'm right after you. Oh,
Didn't it cure the bends?
yeah, but not the kinks. Pretty tight quarters up there.
How do you fellas feel?
Mission accomplished, thanks to you, sir. And thanks to you, too, for saving our lives.
Glad to have had you aboard. See you on the bridge.
Here's your report. It's been swell knowing you.
Thanks for everything. Yeah, you and the commander really pulled us through on this one. Let's go, boy.
You know, I know why you talked me into doing this report.
You do, huh?
I'm glad you didn't have to tell them I hit the panic button.
Well, you licked it.
Thanks to you.
Took quite a few of us to accomplish this mission. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. You know, 3/5 of the world is covered by the sea. And how little most of us know about that underwater world. Go below with us again next week, huh? For another thrilling adventure in Sea Hunt.
Along the upper Amazon, men don't count for much. Creatures like this run things in the jungles of Brazil. The snakes don't have it all to themselves, though. Alligators keep them from getting lonesome. They'd given me some bad times the past few months. Now, in this stretch of the river, a remote tributary of the Amazon, I seem to have swum out of trouble. About all I had to worry about was remembering to rewind my movie camera every 100 feet. I was on a survey for the Brazilian government, checking underwater erosion along the banks of this tributary and collecting samples of bottom debris. My reports would determine if the river could feed a power plant. If so, this vast area, uninhabited now except for a handful of tribesmen, could be opened for settlement. Today was wrap-up day for me. There was just this one last section of the river to photograph. Suddenly, the bottom seemed to drop out from under me. Down, deep down into a ravine. I saw bubbles in the water, and I saw where they were coming from. The jungle might be uninhabited, but this river wasn't. He was a working diver. He was using an underwater mining dredge, a kind of giant vacuum cleaner that sucks up the riverbed and pans out whatever gold or precious stones that it may contain. The dredge was powered by a compressor on shore, which also fed air to him from a storage tank up there. It's what they call a hookah setup. It operates on the same principle as a Turkish water pipe. I started down along his airline for a closer look. That was just the time, though, that this river bottom miner decided to call it a day. He dropped his equipment and started up fast, without even looking above to see if he had a clear road to the top. He didn't. In no time at all, the two of us were tangled in his lines. There was nothing to panic about, but this character did. Probably because he was so surprised. He pulled at my air hose, yanked out my mouthpiece. I had my hands full keeping him from drowning us both. I was a total stranger to him, so I had to be an enemy. I managed to get clear of him finally, and he took off for the top. That was it, I thought, and I headed back down for my camera. I didn't know that before the day ended, I'd be fighting for my life, over a woman and a buried treasure. Who was the diver who had nearly drowned me? And what was he mining out here in the middle of Brazil? From his gear, I guessed that he was an American. An ugly one.
What's the big idea shoving me around down there?
Hey, take it easy, fella. You're the one that's been doing the shoving.
Tom?
Huh?
Tom, what's the matter?
Well, this joker was snooping around the claim.
Claim? I didn't even know you had a claim.
No? What were you doing down there, fouling up my lines, trying to drown me?
You started up without looking, remember?
You were down there looking, remember?
That's right, for the government. I'm doing a survey for them. I got the papers to prove it if you want to take a look at them.
Big deal. Go make your survey someplace else. We don't want company around here.
Tom, for goodness sakes. I'm sorry.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, I'm sure you don't. I'm Mrs. Marzak. Jill Marzak.
Huh? Nice to know you. Mike Nelson's my name.
Hi. This is my husband, Tom. We're from Arizona.
Yeah. My camp's just around the bend.
You gonna hang around here long?
Till tomorrow morning. And it's back to the States for me.
Good. We got work to do. Remember what I said, stay away from the claim. Liable to run into some trouble.
I'm sorry again, Mr. Nelson. I guess we've been working this river too long. We've been here nearly a year now. Of course, it wasn't until a couple of months ago that it meant anything. He found a really rich load of emeralds, and, well, he's been driving himself ragged ever since. He's afraid someone's going to move in on him. I begged him to rest, but he won't do it.
Been diving every day?
Yeah.
How long at a time?
Sometimes 8 hours a day.
And alone, too, boy. That's bad.
Well, he says we've got to make it while we can.
Well, it's no good to make it if you're not around to enjoy it.
That's what I tell him. Say, why don't you stay and have some food with us?
Well, I'd like to, but I gotta get back. Gotta finish my reports.
Do you have to?
I don't like to get behind. You, see that he stays topside, huh?
I'll try.
Those emeralds can wait.
Seems to me you're being awfully friendly with that guy.
But it seemed to me you were being awfully rude.
Don't worry, honey. You put out enough charm for both of us.
Well, I have to admit it was a pleasure to talk to someone for a change.
What's wrong with talking to me?
You're never here. You're always down there. Tom, look, you've just got to stop diving so much. Even Mike agreed with me.
Mike agreed with you. So that's it. Well, let me tell you something. I don't believe all that con about him making a survey. And you keep away from him, you hear? We got work to do. Get the compressor going.
Don't you think you've done enough work for one day? At least let me fix you some food.
Do you mind starting the compressor?
An hour later, I returned to my own camp. I couldn't believe my ears. Was that a rifle shot? No doubt about it. And the shots were coming from downriver, from the direction of the Marzek camp.
Banner, did you fire those shots?
Yes, Tom's in trouble. He's not getting any air.
Did you check the compressor?
Yes, it's not that. I don't know what it is.
The airline must be pinched. Don't have any tanks. Let's hope he's not too deep.
Tom Marzek was trapped at the bottom of the ravine. I couldn't see too clearly, but it looked as if he'd caught his airline under a rock. I started down to him. It was a long, long way down. Tom couldn't move the rock. The way he was pinned, he couldn't get the leverage, but I could. This removed the pressure on his air hose, just in time. And then he was able to work his way out. We didn't waste any time after that, starting upstairs.
Let me get this off.
I suppose I gotta thank you for unhooking me down there. No, I'm okay. I gotta go back to work.
No. You've been overdoing it. That's why you got into trouble. Your judgment's all shot. You've got to cut down on your diving time.
I've been okay up till now.
The time you spend in the water is cumulative. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Tom, what if Mike hadn't come? What could I have done here by myself?
I thanked him, didn't I? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'll be okay.
Get some food into him and put him to bed.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
I'll drop by in the morning and say goodbye before I leave. Don't you worry, huh?
What are you trying to do? Kill yourself? You know, sometimes I don't think you care about me at all. I think all you care about is money.
Is that what your Mr. Nelson told you?
But at least he knows what he's doing. Tom, you're not that young anymore. You've got to start taking it easier.
Lay off me, honey. Lay off me.
Well, maybe what you need is a partner. Why don't you talk to Mike in the morning and see if he wants to come in with us?
So that's it. You want a partner. Someone to stay topside and talk to you. Let me tell you something. I don't want any partner. And I'm not too sure I want the one I got.
That afternoon, with my job done, I started packing my gear. The last thing that I expected now was company.
Mr. Nelson? Mike, I've got to talk to you.
Your husband know where you are?
No, he's asleep. And when he wakes up, he's going to go down again. Look, it's like a disease with him. All he thinks about are these emeralds.
Yeah, I know he's got it bad. Couldn't slow him down, huh?
He won't listen to me. Mike, would you talk to him, please?
Just make matters worse if I talk to him.
Please? Look, I love my husband very much, and I want him back the way he was. Please help me.
Okay, I guess I can give it a try.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right.
So I guessed right.
Tom!
Step aside. I said get away from him.
Tom! Tom, stop it!
Get away from me. And you too, leave me be. Was doing all right until you showed up.
Yeah. Just before I showed up, you almost killed yourself. You're gonna succeed, too, if you keep on in this way.
Yeah.
If you don't care about yourself, think about your wife. What's gonna happen to her?
It looked to me like she was doing just fine.
She was worried about you. She thought maybe I might be able to talk some sense into your head. That's why she came here.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give the rest of this to you when I pull out in the morning. Take your wife back to camp. Let me finish packing, huh?
The go-around with Marzek took a lot out of me. It was late the next day before I got all my gear together.
Mike! Mike, wait for me. I'm going with you.
Going with me? What do you mean?
He sent me away. He thinks that you and I...
Oh, brother.
Well, I told him. I said if you wanted me or his claim, you'd have let him drown yesterday. I wish you had.
You don't mean that.
Yes, I do mean it. If you don't let me go with you, I'm going to take his boat.
Running away's not going to solve your problem. Yeah, come on, get in the boat.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to straighten that husband of yours out once and for all. Get in the stern, huh? Sit out.
By the time we got to the Marzek camp, I was steaming. From the minute he bumped into me, he'd meant nothing but trouble. Now I was ready to give it to him. But he was nowhere in sight.
There he is.
Diving alone again. Well, here I go once more.
Well, you don't have to do it on my account. Mike, look at the hose.
There's some trouble.
Once again, I started down that hookah line toward the bottom of the ravine. What trouble was this Marzek character in now? Now, this time, he really was in a jam. Near as I could make out, he'd been excavating in a deep pothole. The river had collapsed the sides and buried him up to the waist. I tried to lift him out. No good, on account of the fins and his feet. The silt and gravel pressing down on them held his legs like cement. And I didn't dare put my own feet down into the hole. The shifting gravel might trap me, too. I had to do something, and it had to be soon. This might be the answer. The mining dredge, the giant vacuum cleaner. It was choked with sand and gravel. I let it clear itself. Now I set to work with it. It did a wonderful job, sucking up more sand in a minute than I'd have been able to move by hand in an hour. I thought I'd have Tom free in no time. Suddenly, the dredge stopped working. Just like that, the power cut off. That meant that the compressor upstairs had quit. It also meant that no air would come down along the hookah line for Tom to breathe, except what was in the storage tank right now. And that was about 5 minutes worth. That's all the time that I had to get topside and fix the compressor. As I came out of the water, I could feel the silence. The compressor was completely dead. Where was Jill Marzek? Had she been angry enough at Tom to plan something like this? Couldn't get the gas engine that powered the compressor to start. No wonder, no gas. And I couldn't use the fuel in our boats because outboards run on a mixture of gas and oil, which would foul up this kind of engine in a hurry. Then I realized. To avoid the danger of fire and explosion, Tom probably had stored his fuel supply a good distance away. Before Tom's air ran out entirely, I had to get him free. And it would have to be without mechanical help. I hated to think so, but I was sure now that Jill had done this deliberately. Going down after Tom this last time, I didn't have much hope. One glance and I could see that he felt just about the same way. He hadn't been able to budge 1 inch while I was gone. And nature took a hand now to make matters worse, with another slide that brought down a great load of silt and gravel around my feet, too. When Tom's air ran out, I gave him some of mine. After a few breaths, he wanted me to go topside again and try somehow to get the dredge going. I tried to explain that it wasn't any use. Without gas to run the compressor engine, the dredge was dead. Then, without warning, a cloud of bubbles burst from Tom's regulator. Air was coming down to him from topside. The compressor engine was working again. In an instant, I had the dredge going at full blast, tearing out the sand and giving Tom back his life. On the way up, I wondered if Tom was thinking what I was thinking, or hadn't he guessed that his own wife had tried to kill him.
See what happens? You're not safe without me.
What?
You forgot to fill the gas tank. That's why the engine stopped.
So that's where you were, huh? You went for more gas.
I nearly died.
Honey, you know, all the time I was down there, I thought you were trying to get rid of me.
How can you say a thing like that? I love you. If anything happened to you, I wouldn't want to go on living. I mean it.
Baby, I must be sick to think thoughts like that.
But you've got to start taking it easy.
I'm ready to chuck the whole thing if you want me to.
No, that isn't what I want you to do, but...
You want me to take a partner? It's okay. I'll take Mike. I don't mind.
I don't want you to do that either. I want you to go on working. Only spend more time with me and less with your emeralds. Think you can take it?
You know I can take it.
You two don't need me anymore. I see you in Arizona. So long. I'll be back next week at the same time with another sea hunt story. Plan to be with us again, huh?